Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This deck, I think I just called it 5-color dragons, and I've had it for a while. I just pull it out to have fun with it every now and then. I'm not sure how good it is, but it's got dragons, so I'm keeping it. My opponent is Yaboy Cthulhu. Interesting name. I don't have a 1-mana play, so we'll just play the tap land. And I think we go ahead and get rid of the Kessig Naturalist now with Foul Play. Because we're going to have a lot of other cheap werewolves coming our way. And I don't have a lot here. I guess I can put down the Reclusive Taxidermist. They could have a fight spell, or they could decide they don't want me to draw with the clue, although I wouldn't expect that. Planeswalker on curve instead.
Feel your hair standing on end? Our hunt draws near.
My secluded courtyard is not going to help me get burned down
Two's
the house
company.
going.
Three's a pack.
Okay, so let's go ahead and play Evolving Door, and then I'll go get a card. Okay, perfect. That allows me to burn the house. Burning down the house. Just in time.
Wait for the perfect moment to strike.
Yes, ma'am. Get an extra +1 counter. They didn't even wait. It was terrible. What am I supposed to do with burn down the house now? They're going to take care of Evolving Door just for the heck of it? Okay. Well, I guess we're going after the Planeswalker. They were debating it. Yes, it was a trap. They blocked it and then they unblocked it and then they're like, yeah, I'll block it. They just have another one. That's why they want. They decided it was okay to block it.
Not let my pack.
Sure, I have a spare.
Predators. Gather my children.
All right, dragons it is. Let's go ahead and bring down this one. I'm hoping they don't have a 4 damage spell. Maybe I should have brought down the Ward 2
On my
first.
signal, the hunt begins.
There are creatures that have reach. But hold on, and only to start with 2. Okay, and they just did the exact same thing again. They don't have a trick there, right? They were just trying to get me. 4 damage to target creature. Okay, let's go ahead and bring down Rith. And then we'll go ahead and take out the Planeswalker.
The moon wanes, and I depart.
And we get an extra dragon because we did excess damage. And it's nice because no matter how much the excess damage is, we get a 4/4 dragon. So it's not like we did 2 points, we get a 2/2 dragon. They just decided, okay, you do excess damage, 4/4 red dragon token creature it is. And it has Ward 2. It's really very lovely. And I think we'll risk it. We'll just go all in. Even if they have a removal spell, it's only 9 points of damage, right? No haste there. No haste there. Lots of cheap creatures. I will go ahead and give up 1. And we're down to 4. And I did it. One of the drawbacks against the pre-made decks that are werewolf, in general, they don't have a lot of defense against flyers, so flyers can get them. Let me show you this deck. I think it's kind of a 50-50 deck, since it is 5 colors. I don't know that I've had the best in terms of mana fixing, land fixing on this or not. It's pretty good, but maybe it could be better. But let me show you the overall, what we've got. We've got 18 creatures, 3.2 mana cost average, just a slight tad more than normal, and 25 lands. So because we're 5 colors, I stuck an extra land in there, and I have 4 copies of Reclusive Taxidermist, which gives me 1 mana of any color. So that is allegedly supposed to help me a little bit. For the 5 color stuff, I've got 2 copies of the Kami War, Enchantment Saga from Kamigawa. Exile target non-land permanent opponent controls. Then I return a creature to its owner's hand, or a non-land permanent. And then finally we get the Dragon Spirit 6/6 that you see to the right. And that's a fun card with a lot of extra capabilities. Over here, the rest to start with the 1-drops, I got Dread Fuge, little discard thing real quick. Eaten Alive, quick creature removal, and 1 Strangle. We've got a Sanctify for artifacts and enchantments. 1 Battle Trick here with target creature gaining Death Touch and Indestructible for Battle Rage Blessing. Extract the Truth to make them sacrifice an enchantment, or if they don't have any enchantments out, we'll check their hand out, and that'll be an extra discard attempt here. 1 Foul Play to get rid of creatures with power 2 or less. 1 Lethal Exploit. You can tell that when I first made this deck, I was concerned about swarms, right? About like Phyrexian Poison and soldiers and that kind of thing. Target creature gets -2/-2 till end of turn. Gets -1 until end of each turn for each modified creature you controlled as you cast the spell. And Parasitic Grasp, 3 damage to target human creature, or if I pay the cleave cost of an extra black mana, I can just do any target creature and actually gain life. So there's a tiny bit of life gain in the deck, not a whole lot. Goro Goro is a really nice addition here. Not so much that I get to use his power. His activated ability at the bottom for 5, create a red dragon spirit creature token with flying. You can activate that only if you control an attacking modified creature. There are ways for us to get a modified creature in here, but it's much more common for me to get other dragons out and just give them haste when I summon a dragon, and then Goro Goro is already out. And just spend 1 extra red mana, and the dragon gets to fly over and hit him right away. That can be devastating under the right circumstances. 1 Smoldering Egg that transforms into a dragon when you cast enough instants and sorceries. The Reclusive Taxidermist, when you get more creatures in your graveyard, it becomes a 4/4 creature. 1 Evolving Door. I can sacrifice a creature, count the colors of the sacrificed creature, then search your library for a creature card that's exactly that many colors plus 1. So then I can exile that card. I can cast the exiled card, but not for free. I do have to pay for it. But, you know, it only costs 1 to do this. So I can go get, you know, if I have a Liberated Primeval, and that for some reason, actually, now that I'm looking at this, I don't know that that's enough. This card may have to go. Let's see. Count the colors of the sacrificed creature, then search for a creature card that's that many colors plus 1. I've got a bunch of 1-color cards. I don't have a 2-color. I've got 3 colors here and 3 colors here and nothing more. So that's I had such grand designs for that card, and it's just a useless card. So let's go ahead and put in something with exile the graveyard, and we'll make it an artifact. Because I don't really have any graveyard hate in here, and this will actually give me 1 more mana source, which might help for the fixing, because I do have 3 secluded courtyards for land, and that's only good for creature spells or activating the dragons, because I'm going to declare dragons. So let me go ahead and go over here, and we want the Honored Heirloom. 1 mana of any color, and exile the target card from the graveyard. That might help me, because that's kind of 1 blank spot that this deck had all along. And I'll come back and play around with that other card some other day. Okay, that's a little bit better. Yeah, as soon as I read that, I'm like, wait a second, I don't have the right color mix for that. Okay, Jugan defends the temple. This is one way to get the modified creatures, right? You get a human monk to start with, then you get a +1/+1 counter and up to each of 2 target creatures. Then you get a Dragon Spirit, Remnant of the Rising Star. You'll notice that I call it a 5-color dragon deck. It's not just regular dragons, right? We've got things like Goro Goro that can create the dragon tokens. We've got Smoldering Egg, which turns into a dragon. And we got an Enchantment Saga that turns into a dragon. And a Kami Enchantment Saga that also turns into a dragon. So other than just normal dragons, this concept has a whole bunch of other cards that just involve dragons in some way or another. Anyway, we get the little hatchling counters. Whenever the eggs die later, you can cast a creature spell from among the cards you own in exile. We've got Weaver of Blossoms, Human Werewolf. This is one more mana dork here, basically. We've got Foreboding Statue, which also gives me mana. If we do it 3 times, it turns into a 5/5 construct. It also gives me pre-combat phase 1 more mana of any color. Coyote, again, Kamigawa, Dragon Spirit, legendary. You can flash it in, and another target permanent gains indestructible as long as Coyote stays on the field and I control it. Moonveil Radiant, a 4/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. I don't usually want to use that. When it dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control, which could get a little bit hairy for the opponent. If I do have Moonveil Regent, I could pair it with like a 3-color spell maybe, or with Kami War. That would be great. That would be good for card draw. Very rare to line that up. Atsushi the Blazing Sky, of course, another one of the legendary dragons from Kamigawa. When it dies, we're usually creating 3 treasure tokens because, again, 5 colors. Monoform Hellkite. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, we get XX Red Dragon Illusion creature token with flying and haste, so we can swing in and hit it as soon as we get it. It does get exiled at the beginning of the next end step. And yet another Monodork, Dawnheart Rejuvenator. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life, so that was my other place for card or life gain. 1 Lacerate Flesh, 4 damage to target creature, and create a number of blood tokens equal to the excess damage. 1 Burn Down the House. Always need 1 board wipe, right? 3 of the Purifying Dragons. Whenever they attack, deal 1 damage to target creature. If it's a zombie, deal 2 damage instead. Here's a card I like. Rith, Liberated Primeval from Dominaria. 5/5 with Ward 2, and other dragons you control have Ward 2. That's a real game changer, I think. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature or planeswalker an opponent controlled was dealt excess damage, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Awesome card. And, of course, from New Capenna, Zeatora, the boss, Demon Dragon. You can sacrifice another creature at the end of your step. When it does, you can deal that damage to any target, plus you create 3 treasure tokens. Couldn't ignore that for the mana fixing. And for the lands, I got, a lot of these double color type things going on, and then the 3 secluded secluded courtyards to help with casting my multicolored dragons. That's it. That should be enough. That should be enough for you, audience. It's 5-color dragons. If I can get them out and show them off, there will be nothing more exciting. And if you're wondering about the 5 cartels there, if you're new, that's a video from like 4 or 5 days ago. You can go check that out. Any new people, please remember to subscribe. And everybody remember to like. Alright, we got 2 colors and a Monodork to start with. They did give me 2 copies of the Kami War, which is a kind of a warning sign. If you get both of those up front, you might want to mulligan, but we did draw the taxidermist, so we're going to try stuff here. Ooh, crowbar. Let's see. If we get the taxidermist down, we can then pay to do the Sanctify and get rid of the crowbar. No blocks. Or do I get to be greedy? Let's go ahead and put down the Foreboding Statue and get the statue going. This way I can cast 2 spells next turn. We just need to survive long enough. Not blocking you. Okay, so we'll bring down the heirloom. And then we will get rid of the crowbar. We'll gain 3 life back, so we don't look quite so bad just yet. And with all of this variety, we should be able to cast our Camigores already, which works out perfectly for us. Can we stop these people? Because it looks like they're going to go wide really fast. We don't have access to the pre-made decks anymore, but you can find the old deck list anywhere online. Well, I don't know about anywhere, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 places where people have published the pre-made deck list. And if you've made the chance to import them into your own area before, you'd have it. So this looks like the standard deck list. And this creates a creature every time, right? So I think... what do we need for a color? Red? We still need white. Let's just exile Darling of the Masses to start with. They shouldn't have a protection spell, this unless they've really modified this deck. There we go. Getting a little low on life, but we'll just bounce one of their tokens and they'll still have to discard. And if they don't remove the Foreboding Statue, we'll have a nice little defender in a second. They don't want to give up the Rumor Gatherer, but they also don't want to lose a token. Okay, so we'll get rid of their token just because I want to get rid of one of the 4 cards in their hand for discard. Okay, it's just a land, so they were ready for that. Let's see. What can we do more than one thing here? Yes, we can. Let's go ahead and bring down the Hellkite. They could have removal for that, but that's fine. Because then we want to use this and give -2, and we want to give it to the Rumor Gatherer because that's the real force multiplier with Scry and Draw. And we'll just throw this at them and get them down to 20 real quick. And finally, Foreboding Statue, the 3 tokens trigger, we get to untap it. And now we got 2 different creatures. We should be ahead of the curve, even if they have removal. If all they've got is ground creatures left, they are in big trouble. Not enough to make them feel comfortable to attack. Okay, this one gives them stuff again, so let's take some white mana there. We'll go ahead and exile this puppy again. Bring down Goro Goro. And yeah, do we want to attack with everybody? They've got a whole bunch. Let's just attack with the one. They didn't want to tap out all 3 other creatures. They're trying to get down everything they can because they know I'm going to get rid of the token. And they got rid of that. That's good. And now we can bring down our taxidermist. And then we can just attack, yeah? Attack with our 2 flyers. And Okagachi Made Manifest gets to add a little bit of power here. And they only give me the 2, but it has trample. So 12 points. And they don't really have anything for me to get rid of here to gain life. But we can exile something from the graveyard. Just to give me something to do. Now you notice out of all of this, let's see, I do have this with counters on it. So if I attack with it, I could trigger that. Maybe they read my mind. They're going all in. They might be able to get me. Oops. Past the blockers. Except I can block there, and I can block there, and I can block there. Which means they just want to hit me in the face before they scoop. They didn't scoop. They let me hit them. It's very rare. Thank you, Virgil. Usually they just make sure to hit me and then they're gone. So you can see, hopefully I've got the land fixing enough and the energy fixing enough that I can get the right color that I need between all of my monodorks and the land. And I want to play with that artifact where you sacrifice a creature and get a higher level creature, but I've got to get the number of colors right. It's going to be a perfectly useless card. So maybe as a red herring to distract the opponent if they thought it was valuable. Yes, I like to bluff my opponent by putting completely useless cards in my hand, in my decks. That's a great idea. Okay. We'll put down the statue, but I don't have high hopes it'll survive. It's kind of going to go out there naked. If it lasts for one turn, we do have ways to protect it for a little bit. They got their perfect combo already. They got to sacrifice every turn and get to bump up the infiltrator. That's just great. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. If they've got removal, we'll force them to use it on the dragon. I probably should have used the statue for that. Nice. They don't have a way to sacrifice it, do they? It's going to be a big enough hit as it is. I can just generate extra mana for this just to do it, so I still get the counter. He's not going to block that. Don't have a 1 mana... Oh, they have it. You have it, don't you? Yeah, bone splinters. Okay, use my creature to destroy my creature. I think we're dead. I think we're pretty much dead. I don't even have the black mana source anymore. Gross. And I mean, if I got burned down the house, that would save me for 1 turn. Yeah, that's not it. That's a nice little 6-turn kill right there. And that's why the deck's kind of 50-50. Once your opponent has removal, especially if it's efficient removal like that, they got 2 for 1 on that. But that could wipe out anybody's deck if you're creature-based. If you're creature-centric, stilling 1 creature to get rid of your other creature, that could ruin your whole day. That's the type of deck I might go back and try and recreate and show you guys off in the Decks That Beat Me playlist that I have. Just and watch. It wouldn't work for me, but of course they got, you know, they got like 4 or 5 different cards. They got half the deck that they needed to pull off their combo. And with my luck, I'd get like 4 copies of 1 card. And I'd be sitting there 5 or 6 losses later wondering, hey, this deck just beat me very handily, very easily, and I can't win a single turn with it. That's what tends to happen to me a lot. Goro Goro comes out. We're on the board. We're threatening. We're not threatening much if we miss a land drop. My opponent's not going to miss a land drop. They're going to make good on Susan's Many Journeys. And I'm going to miss a land drop, because that's what Arena does to me. Extra land, all sorts of monodorks, and we're going to lose because Arena won't give me past the beginning 2 lands. Even though it already made me lose in the last round. Put me up against somebody who had their perfect start. I think they changed the algorithm. I don't think they're enforcing a 50% win average. I think they're enforcing like a 66% win average against me now. Like I've done too much jank or something. Somehow, somewhere, I ticked them off. I don't know why. I'm a perfectly nice guy. But then I'm also up against the champion. So, what are you the champion of? Drawing lands. Yeah, got me beat. They're gonna have their whole hand on the field in a minute. We got a land. Okay, let's get rid of the Jewel Thief now while we can. And I don't think we bother with attacking right now. Vigilance and Trample is just a little too good for a 3/3 right now. Ugh. Card draw is going to put them over the top really fast. Okay, I think we just get out the Rejuvenator. Gain the life. Give us mana of any color. We're maybe going to keep pace with them to get rid of each threat as it comes out, if we're extremely lucky. Psychic Pickpocket. Still doing their lovely card draw. This is kind of insidious because it's only power 3 or greater that they get the card draw. And I think we get rid of the Blossom Prancer. Just try and keep the overall number of threats down for a second. Just for a second. I know it's not much, but it's what we can do right this second. Now it's usually when they have the on-curve Titan of Industry or something like that. We got flying elephant turtles and crap in this deck too. It's interesting that Magic took away all the pre-mades and still kind of up against them quite a bit. Saw that coming. Figured they'd do that. They want to get a swing in. Oh, that's different. That's an upgrade to the deck, Vesuvian Drifter. Yeah, you got me. You got me there. Alright, let's try and see if we can set up the blocker. They got more land, they got more cards, they got more board presence, they got more setup. That's not the worst thing. It's also not the worst thing. Could have been worse. It can get worse still. They still got a lot of draw card stuff coming up. Filtering out the land they don't need anymore. Didn't find what they wanted with Vesuvian Drifter. Do they attack us? They do. Do we take it? I think we do. Two of those, huh? If we do that for setup first. We still need a little bit of time. I feel like we're kind of short on time here. They're just ditching the extra lands, which is good for them to filter through their deck. They're just leisurely glancing at all of my stuff. Don't touch the Hellkite. I can use the Hellkite next turn. And they're still not missing land drops, even though they've been throwing land away for a couple times. They opt not to cast a spell. They're still doing card draw. They could, at this point, give things trample. Ah, yeah, there's the turtle. Okay, it's just a turtle, not an elephant turtle. But, I mean, it seems like it's as big as an elephant. Okay, so they copy that with their drifter. 10 points. Alright. Oh, and they shoot. That's mean. Okay, I think I have to take that. Oh, brother. 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I do this now, and this now, we gain 3 life. Why are they looking at my treasures? They want to destroy a treasure? Instead of gaining life? They do. They want to destroy one of my treasures. Okay. They are vicious. Still going for the card draw, too, this whole time. Yeah, it's been working out for him. They can just fly over my head easy enough. I don't have any way to block any of that. They're only hitting me for 1? Alright. No! Why? Well, I still have my treasures, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm like, why are you using the greens? Shoot. That's something I need now. I guess that's going. Wait a second. Blah, blah, blah. It's gotta be a creature spell. I whiffed on the creature spells and got rid of the one thing I needed. I need to get rid of the enchantment. And we whiffed again. We whiffed twice. You can go ahead and attack with those real quick because they're gonna fade away anyway. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're dead. Who would have thought in 6 cards I would have whiffed on a 5-color dragon deck? It's easy if you're a conspiracy theorist and you think the spies at Wizards arranged my deck so that that's exactly what would happen. I think they're just playing with their food at this point. They can give everybody 1/1 and trample. Call it a day. They've gone through more than half their deck. They should get to their bombs by now. We didn't even get a Cammy War to show up yet. Okay, please put me out of my misery. They're doing the draw card. Okay. there's no way for me to recover from that. Even a burn down the house would not be enough. They'd still have the drifter after me. I think they just wanted to draw like most of their deck and play most of their cards. Some people want to do that just because they've got like the daily chore to finish. But I want to squeeze in one more match here. Okay, we don't have to worry about instants. So the courtyards can come down first. Uh-oh, red artifact may be a little bit too fast for us. Especially if they have an Ankur Urbrass Forge. Okay, strangle you before you get any bigger. That is a nice little combo to have the reservoir keep putting oil counters on the evolving adaptives. Quick way to get your cheapies to go higher. Foul play. I think we'll get rid of the Venom Connoisseur. I think we go for the statue because we're going to take some hits and get some poison on us. The oil counter shouldn't do much for the Contaminator. Nah, they had something handy. That was going to be useful to me. Oh, hello. They've used their entire hand already. Alright. we're going to stick with the dragons. I'm going to bring out the Rejuvenator. Gain a little bit of life back, and we can go ahead and activate blue and go get one more card. Okay, and that's not the right color to cast the Kami War. I still need white and blue sources, and we're going to get rid of the Rejuvenator, so... Still a dead card in my hand. Ah, there we go. That's helpful. Okay, finally we get a creature, so we hit that at least. One blue mana source, and Kami War comes into play. Ouch. Okay, so creature. Draneth Runes, I wasn't prepared for that. We're gonna let that through. Ugh. Okay, so you get a plus counter. We get our Kami Egg. We bring down the Honored Heirloom. Oh, that works out right. Yes, because now we can afford the Kami. Okay, we get rid of that. Oh, we get to pay without paying the mana cost. Let's do this. And then we're going to exile the Roastmaster. That is the perfect card to use with Monoform Hellkite. Oh, they don't even wait to get hit. Joey Battle is afraid of the battle. Look at that. I guess they were just afraid that they emptied their hands so soon and we were able to deal with everything. Well, the Kami War is kind of tough, right? Because if they didn't put anything down, we were probably going to put one of these things back up in their hand. It has to be non-land though, right? So we couldn't get rid of Draneth Runes. But one of these two is going to go back up in their hands and then we'd make them discard. So I guess I can't blame them too much. But he didn't even sit still for the hit. You know, some people have those pretty model chins, and they're like, not the face, not the face. We're going to go ahead and show you the deck one last time. I do love my 5 colors. I do love my Rith, and so I do love my Zeatora, and I do love my Kami War. I don't know how many decks I have Kami War in it by now. Probably enough to warrant its own separate playlist. I've probably got 4 or 5 decks that have Kami War in it. But, you know, they delayed the standard rotation, so we've got longer to play around with it. That type of thing. I did better on this deck than I do usually, just in the sense of I didn't go over 60 cards. I still did one more than the default land they give you. And I still have enough of the extra places where you can get other colors, any color that you need. With those 4 places, and then even here with Jugan, you still get an additional green mana token as well. So I think it works well. I think it enables you to get the Kami War out on a pretty consistent basis. And every now and then, if you're about to get swarmed, you might get a good draw with Burn Down the House. And I also did pretty good, I think, with the 1 and 2 drops over here on the left-hand side to be just enough to sort of keep us alive on the early stages where they have a bunch of 1 and 2 and 3 drops that they can get at us. I think I've got just enough removal and interaction there to keep them off our backs so that we can build up the mana base that we need to bring out our bombs. Let me know what you think of it. And as always, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.